The primaries for the People's Democratic Party held. Well, there are those who are trying to see if they can juxtapose that with the court matter and see how that eventually just plays itself out. That's what we're considering here today. Mr. Ikechukwu Ikeji joins us now. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, straight away, you have those who ask, I mean, the argument's already on Twitter. We'll put out a question, waiting their response. They ask, point blank, is PDP above the law? They think that conducting the primaries in spite of that court's order, as it were, just seems they can't place it. They think that the party has acted against the law.
Yes, there's a lot of misinformation out there in the public domain. People are not understanding the issues involved. The simple fact is that there was no injunction stopping the primaries. I have a copy of the court order. Okay. The court order never said that the PDP should not conduct primaries. What the court order said was that if within 72 hours after the service of the court order on PDP, they fail to come back to show cause why the injunction shall not be granted, that the court would have no option than to grant the injunction.
Okay, well, we'll take this report. It was, about bayelsa, but we'll come back to the points of law which you're raising now. Let's take a look at this.
Security in the air as well as on the ground. That was the situation in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, South Nigeria. At the PDP primaries, over 15,000 policemen were said to have been deployed to the state for these primaries, a situation the organizers say should be expected.
The insecurity in the country itself warrants that we beef up security.
Accreditation at the Peace Park in the heart of the city commenced as early as 8 o'clock in the morning, not minding the court order said to be hanging on the primaries.
The lawyers of the PDP have joined the suit, so the process can go on. So we are going on with it.
The accreditation venue was brimming with PDP supporters, but conspicuously absent here is the president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, a son of the soil, who was billed to attend the primaries. Also, INEC officials were nowhere to be found. The organizers say they will be at the voting proper. Some of the contestants, cleared by the PDP, exude confidence. They say, court order or not, their party provided a level playing field for all.
Any matter concerning party primaries, a court has no jurisdiction. It's all over the place. And if a governor feels because he's not participating in that election, he has to go to court to stop that election. He will have gotten his facts and figures wrong.
What has happened is a departure from what they are used to. Before now, documents for party primaries and congresses will be snatched away by government operatives, taken to government house, and they lock the gate and they begin to do all kinds of things there.
Accreditation ended at about 12:30 in the afternoon. In all, over 400 delegates were expected to vote.
All roads now lead to the Samson Siasia Sports Complex for the primaries. It is important to also note that the chairman of the organizing committee, as well as the Minister of Police Affairs, admonished the contestants and the delegates to ensure that the peace that prevailed during this accreditation was replicated at the primaries proper.
The delegates were ferried to the Samson Siasia Sports Complex in buses for the voting proper. There, no INEC official was also seen. Some of the chieftains of the party say their party cannot go wrong.
Whoever that is democratically nominated today by this process, as far as I'm concerned, is my candidate.
Voting was said to have ended at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, with 3 of the contestants staging a walkout over what they called irregularities and the absence of INEC officials as the umpire. But Honorable Dixon, who polled 365 votes, had spoken to Channels TV on his chances.
Among the party faithfuls, I've been able to interact. You see, it's one thing to evince an ambition to contest an election. It's another thing to be able to set up a credible structure that has the capacity to penetrate, deliver the message, and then provide the organizational capabilities. My team has that.
He is said to have called on his supporters to sheath their swords and support him in the election proper. Observers are yet to see if that call will be heeded, especially by those in court as well as those who staged a walkout.
But as I will take it from now, Chukuma, Mr. Ikeji was just making a point in law. You were talking about the court order vis-a-vis the reactions of people.
Yes, I read the court order.
Yeah.
There was no order of injunction. We have to get that clear. It has to be put in the public space so that people are not misinformed and use misinformation to distort facts. What the court said, like I said, was that if PDP within 72 hours does not come back to the same court and show cause why Silva shall not be granted the order to stop every processes concerning the general election, that the order shall be granted.
Okay, so if they did not file anything or respond within 72 hours, they are not expected to have held the primaries.
Yes.
But do we know if they did?
Of course, you must presume, there's a presumption on their side that they ought to have filed. And in any case, since the court didn't stop the primaries expressly, what people would look at is the fact of conducting the primaries. Would it in any way be detrimental to the interest of Silva?
Yeah, but if you go by his prayers, wouldn't it? Because
no, it will not.
He was seeking an order of injunction, interim injunction, restraining the defendants, their agents, servants, privies, officers, or otherwise, and/or any other person, howsoever.
That is what he's seeking for.
This is his order.
The court ordered something else, and I will read what the court ordered. The number one court order is that the instant motion ex parte is not refused, but the defendants shall be put on notice of same, and they shall within 72 hours of being served with the said motion on notice show cause why the plaintiff shall not be entitled to the preservatory orders as the said prayers 1 to 3 on the motion ex parte seek. It's a simple language, it's a clear language. There's no order of injunction.
What does it mean to put someone on notice?
It just means serve the person with the court papers.
Which is required because in time past, INEC complained of frivolous ex parte motions
without service.
Some called the black market injunctions.
Exactly. You see, a lot of lawyers go shopping. What you say called shopping for injunctions. I have heard that probably Silva has also done the same, shopping all over Yenegoa, Bayelsa State for injunction, and he didn't get it, and he had to look for a court that would easily grant him an injunction. Although the court didn't grant him that injunction, but it's a closer situation to what he may be seeking. The court heard him and appreciated his prayer.